Very nice. We got Vic Henley in studio. And, you know, Vic, we're friends, but I hate talking to you during the breaks because you come up with too much material, and I'm like,
sorry.
Shut your fucking mouth.
I forget after all these years, supposed to save it for the air.
You just got to sit there and we just stare at each other.
I forget. I know. I should know the drill by now.
We could catch up after the show, get a bite to eat.
Stop telling you the truth.
Well, because you were telling me during the break, and I think I stopped you in time, that you were on the road for 21 days. You're a comic that really loves your house, and you don't really like getting out there a lot.
This is my 30th year, and after 30 years, my favorite thing to do is just sit in my goddamn living room and do absolutely nothing.
So being out there for 3 weeks straight drove you nuts.
I got stuck. It's been over probably at least 10 years since that's happened to me. But I'll go home just for one day just to recharge and turn around and leave the next day.
Where'd you get stuck?
Oh, everywhere. I was in Ohio. I was in Cleveland. I was down. My niece got married in Huntsville, Alabama on New Year's Eve.
Thank you. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah,
that's what I made you. I made you stop when you said that.
Well, I had to get get there. That's hard enough just on a regular day.
You know, your niece is extremely
selfish, you want to say.
Thank you. I don't know how he's going to handle this, but someone has to say
everybody in my family would say that. That's the
She's
perfect
extremely
word.
selfish to have a wedding on New Year's Eve.
Well, it's Uncle Vic. Everybody wants to have a good party to go to on New Year's Eve. I thought I'd throw one.
I hate those people.
Right. So
those,
exactly.
I don't know, like a 4th of July weekend wedding
and then
around St. Patty's Day. It's like you fucking selfish piece of shit.
I was already mad enough. It took me forever to get there. Then I find out they wanted me to like say something funny at the rehearsal dinner, which I couldn't make. I could only get there because it's in goddamn Huntsville, Alabama, and you got to get on a dog sled and 2 trains and a tunnel to get there. And so, and she got pissy with me. She goes, we wanted to say it. I'll say, what? She goes, we thought you'd do something funny. I'm like, Katie, I'm not doing goddamn time at your wedding. You know how I feel about this. She's like, well, we just thought no, look, I always disappoint everybody at everybody's wedding. Because like, be funny. I'm like, no, hey, they got married. Good luck to them. Hope it fucking works.
Wait, so they give you the microphone?
Yeah,
assuming?
they wanted me to. They didn't. They knew better after I said don't.
Okay, gotcha.
You know what you should have said? Well, I would love to, but I'm not going to be there.
That's what I said.
Because New Year's Eve is the biggest money night of the year.
For comedy, yes. Right. My whole family knows this, and from the get-go, 6 months when she sends out the invitation, after all these years, my mother's like, isn't that the biggest money now of the year in comedy?
Did you go to the wedding?
I did, yeah.
Why?
Exactly.
Why didn't you say no?
Right.
Or take a gig down there?
I didn't know. I just fucking, because sometimes I have to prove to myself, no, I'll go act like a regular person and go to a family thing, and it'll be fun, and it never fucking is worth it every time.
New Year's Eve?
Yeah, I know. In Huntsville, Alabama. In Huntsville, Alabama.
And you got to get out of the wedding hall before midnight.
Church. Well, no, country club. We stayed there. But they didn't even do a countdown. They had a great funk band. I'm looking around. They're giving out hats and noisemakers. And I'm like, well, it's supposed to be 12. It was 12 fucking 43. It was 12:43.
And you didn't even know what time it was?
I had no idea. I was out there dancing around, doing shots, having a great time. I'm like, well, there's hats back there. There's noisemakers. Surely to God there'll be a countdown. And then I looked at my girlfriend. I'm like, what time is it? She goes, 12:43. I'm like, well, fuck that. I guess no countdown. And,
was she disappointed or she
no, it doesn't matter. She she
probably liked it more than a gig, just to hang at a wedding.
Exactly, it was fine. I didn't care. The funk band was great. It was a good party, but it was just stupid.
I had an aunt. Every wedding without fail, she would have to come up to me and go. We'd have a DJ. Hey, why don't you go up there and show them how it's done? Of course. If you said it once, I'll give everyone one shot. All right, that's kind of funny. Let's all laugh. But every wedding without fail, and I would see her coming. I'm like,
how would she say it?
Why don't you go up there and show them how it's done? Not even knowing that I moved on from being a music jock like fucking 20 years ago at this point.
Did you hate when she would say that?
I hated her in general, to be honest with you.
They all left me alone. I was really happy. Nobody really bothered me. I figured I was going to get a whole bunch of, are you going to, there's a break going on, get up there and do something.
Oh, they think it's hilarious.
It was just the opposite. They're like, you're not going to do anything.
That's not good. I'm going to go up there and tell them Jesus is a fake, and they're not going to like that.
You've never been in that situation?
Oh, my God, many times.
With family or whatever?
They know better.
Where they look at you like, hey, Jimmy.
Yeah, you want to hear my strap-on material? I didn't think so. Right. Get back to the wedding.
Right.
Oh, no, they don't bother me.
Corielli had to talk to an aunt. He's had an aunt there that just got all half in the bag, and he ended up in like a 25-minute, I know Aunt Janet's, while the goddamn show was going on.
It's always the aunt that acts up in families, right?
Yeah.
It's never the uncles so much.
No, most of the uncles are quiet. If they're married to the oppressive, loud aunt, usually they're quiet. Dude.
Yeah. I have one uncle that really enjoys a good T-shirt with a saying on it, and he's proud of that. I forgot the one. Something like,
Really?
you've been a bad girl, go to your room for a spanking or something. He would show up at parties for the
Face rides for free.
Almost. I got one of those uncles. He thinks he's a fucking riot when he shows up with his brand new fucking T-shirt.
I have a really funny one I wear sometimes. It says, my other car is a Lamborghini. People laugh so hard when they see that. They're like, oh, it is.
So ISIS hacked Twitter and YouTube.
Yeah, for the Pentagon.
For what's the account? CENTCOM?
I don't know, but people knew there was some people who follow the Pentagon thought it was suspicious that they said that we were going to lop a head off. They're like, that doesn't seem like a Pentagon thing to say.
And do they get some addresses and stuff?
Oh, yeah, generals' addresses and stuff, sure.
See, we said this after the Sony hack. We said, look, this is going to be the new thing. It's going to happen to a lot more organizations and companies.
Yep. Yeah.
It took them a long time to get their account back, too, like 40 minutes or something like that.
How do you hack how is the Pentagon being hacked by fucking ISIS?
Was it the actual Pentagon?
Really? You would think that they wouldn't have the
Better security
ability
than that.
Right, exactly.
You know, what's their password?
5.
Yeah,
Pentagon,
yes, of course.
5.
That's the security question, is how they got him.
Right.
Who is the president? You know that.
Obama.
Kenny?
They weren't government computers. It was YouTube and Twitter that they had.
Yeah, their accounts. So.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But you still think they'd have better passwords,
They
though.
should, yeah.
Yeah, they should be changing their passwords every 2 minutes, maybe.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Let's just breathe. Nice breath. Yep. Thank you, Kenny. Anyway. So, but the wedding was a success, even though it was New Year's Eve.
I guess so. You know, whatever. Everybody got drunk. Nobody got hurt. Nobody talked any shit. And everything was fine. You know, my brother, her dad during the rehearsal kept screwing up that. Who gives this woman? You're supposed to say her mother and I. And the first time he went, I do. So we chuckled at that. And no, yeah, nothing. You know, nobody.
I've only been to 2 fun weddings. My own, and another one that I couldn't even name. I know I probably enjoyed one other wedding. Most weddings I fucking hate.
I eloped twice. So
did you?
Yeah. I had a good time both times. It was all right.
That's nice.
Yeah.
You took care of everybody by doing that.
The first time was in Carmel and in Northern California.
Did you meet Clint Eastwood?
I certainly did. I helped him clean an ice cream off the sidewalk.
Are you kidding?
No, that's how I got to be mayor.
Oh, I'm so
That's
stupid.
the story. Sorry.
Really?
Yes.
What?
That's the whole thing. That's the whole reason he ran for mayor was because they got all hoity-toity with the littering laws, and someone had spilled an ice cream, and they wrote the guy a ticket. And Clint Eastwood heard about it and said, "We write tickets for somebody spilling ice cream on the streets of Carmel." And the city said, "Yeah." And he goes, "I'll run for mayor and change that stupid ass law." And that's why Clint Eastwood ran for mayor of California.
I didn't know that.
California.
Yeah. That's a good law, too, by the way.
He was never. He was like a fake mayor too, right?
Well, it's one of the, exactly.
Okay.
It's one of those things where it's almost a voluntary position, but that was the
Right.
whole supposed story behind the.
I did not know.
Oh, I can turn back the.
Carmel's gorgeous.
Give me an obscure 1987 fact. I'm right there.
So what happened? You went there and you just eloped?
Yeah, I was meeting a buddy, and my college roommate and I were going to go up there with his now wife, and we were taking my living girlfriend, and we were going to have a wine country weekend. And just at the last minute, we decided to get married. So we looked in the phone book and found a hippie chick named Gail. She came and married us on some cliffs overlooking the ocean, and she read a little John Steinbeck. We got married, went into town, drank a bunch of liquor, and ended up at a blues jam.
Now, how long were you married to her?
9 years. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That was the Robin Williams. Her name was Robin Williams. I'm the comedian. That's the Robin Williams' first wife.
So, wow, 9 years? Fuck it. Were you talking about marriage before that?
We'd been together almost 3 years at that time. Yeah, she was already putting the heat on me by then.
Oh, she was giving it to you.
Exactly. I'm like, okay, well, we'll get the tax.
And then you eloped a second time.
So the second time, she wanted to get married on the beach in Mexico, and I'm like, I'll do that. That sounds fun. So we got married on the beach in Mexico.
Juarez.
Yeah, well, exactly. This wasn't really a beach. They took me in the back of a pharmacia. Gave me a lot of Quaaludes. It was like one of those Olin Mills backdrop. I thought I was in Zihuatanejo, but I was really in Juarez.
Being held for ransom.
How long did that one last?
That one lasted 3 years. So, not as long as the first one.
You're going to dip in for a third?
No, God, no. Shouldn't have dipped in either time. But, I'm a glutton for punishment.
So how long were you in Mexico for when you got married?
A week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
we had a great time. I love Mexico.
Oh, that was the other wedding I enjoyed.
I love Mexico. I have no problem with Mexico.
Stupid me. My brother-in-law did a destination wedding, and he fucking pulled it off. Because we wanted to do that, and we're like, how the fuck do you pull this off with, like, you know, old relatives and this and that, and people that don't really have the funds or the means to do it? But he fucking figured it out, and we had a blast. I forgot, but that's the other wedding I enjoyed out of all the other weddings I've been to.
Opie's wedding was amazing. Yours was phenomenal.
We tried to make it different just because we know that weddings are horseshit for people. Yeah.
Gnomes was great from the Comedy Cellar.
Oh, I heard. I was invited and was out of town. I was going to go to that one. I was going to go to that one.
I interviewed Black Sabbath for 2013. I did Ozzy and Geezer in front of an audience, and it was in that room downtown where Gnome had his wedding. I don't know if it's it's a synagogue. It's an awesome old building. It's such a fucking cool place, and I'd say he had the second best wedding I've ever been to.
What did he do to make it fun?
You know, it was just the food was great. It was all comedians. I mean, fucking Modi was a part of it because Modi the comedian was I think studying to be a rabbi. So
he's a cantor. He can sing and he can do Jew shit.
But he's a really dude. Modi is do you know who Modi is?
No, I don't even know the name.
He's a guy who he's a friend for many years. And he goes out and does all these gigs that only I think him and Elon Gold can do. Like they're like really hardcore Jewish gigs,
super Jew gigs.
Yeah, like separated men and women in the room, and Modi knows all the intricacies of what they do.
Oh yeah, and can make it funny.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
He murders in rooms that I would literally get fucking taken out of in handcuffs.
I'd get taken out for laughing at him, getting taken out in handcuffs. That's how severe.
So he did something with Noam's wedding. I don't remember exactly what he did, but it was just fun, man. It was a great vibe.
Sam, and I'm not just saying it because you're in the room.
Oh, Sam's was a good wedding.
I liked Sam's wedding too. I forgot about that until this very second.
That's right.
I did enjoy your wedding.
Yeah, that was a good wedding.
Thank you.
I felt bad for her, but
if you
somebody's got to say
if you could take the wedding out of the wedding hall, I'm going to have so much more fun. You know what I mean?
Oh, God, yeah.
Find a park, a beach, an old barn, anything.
Sure, yeah.
Have all the same shit, but if it's in a barn, at least it just feels, different.
Kenny, my friend Kenny that works over on Hits One here, Kenny Zimling House, he had a great outdoor upstate in Kingston on the banks of the Hudson. And the same thing, was an old barn shed thing.
All that.
A couple of roommates his had a band. He got the band back together, but they're actually a good band.
Right.
So the food was amazing. Short ribs, party by the Hudson, watch the sun go down. That was a good wedding.
Make it not feel like a wedding.
Yeah, it just felt like a party.
Actually, my sister, I enjoyed a bunch of weddings now. My sister's wedding back in the day, they made it into a party to the point where, like, do they get married?
Right.
Nothing traditional. It's like, hey, man, we're married and let's just fucking have a party.
Yeah.
And they blew off all that traditional shit and we just partied our asses off.
I want a nice Sunday afternoon wedding. And I want a nice VFW hall after with dancing and food and good fun. Coffee for everyone.
And donuts.
You're going to have like a little DJ spinning, playing Celebration by Kool and the Gang.
I pissed off a lot of people by saying I didn't enjoy a lot of weddings.
Why? You were right, though. They stink.
I'm trying to think of
people
other
in their
weddings.
marriages.
I got to try to think of other weddings I've been to that I can make believe now that I actually enjoyed.
My cousin had a lousy wedding.
He did? Why? What made it a lousy wedding?
It was hers. They did it in. I have a lot of redneck in my family, and they did it out in Kentucky. And it was kind of just an exercise in trying to get they really wanted the gifts to outweigh the money that they spent on the wedding. Like it was kind of one of those deals.
All right.
And so they had it was literally in a VFW hall, the whole thing. And all they did was they picked up like a whole bunch of KFC right before the wedding. And then they brought it and they just had chicken and a bowl of punch. And that was the buffet.
What absolute white trash.
That's right.
I would have enjoyed that.
Yeah. I mean, look, I enjoyed the food
because it's different.
I like chicken,
but it wasn't different. Like, oh, we put some thought into this, and
we
want this to reflect. Yeah, that's what it was.
It was give us money, here's some chicken.
Yeah, exactly.
Keep it moving.
Yeah, we fed. Oh, there was an argument. They got biscuits too.
Biscuits, of course. They come with the chicken.
There was a huge argument.
You have to pay extra.
There was a huge argument before the wedding about butter. They said, no, there's no we are not supplying butter for those biscuits. No, and there was no butter.
Why wouldn't they supply butter?
Because they didn't want to pay
for anything.
Wow, they're definitely in your family.
They didn't want to buy anything.
That's a bloodline thing.
Right.
Yeah. Fucking skinflints.
My God.
The night before, there was a massive argument over butter.
Sure.
Over butter. Are they still married?
Yeah.
It's all right. So they made it past the butter thing.
Yeah.
Good for them. What about the couples that decide stuff like, you know, we're gonna have a wedding without alcohol or something? You've been a couple of those over the years, right?
My friend found Jesus and went super Jesus and thought Jesus sent him his wife, and so a couple of us.
Jesus sent him his wife.
He told us he literally said he literally said he was driving home one day and he's at a low point, and you know, and he just thought to himself, man, if I could just meet a good woman. He looked over and there was a hottie pulling up next to him at a red light. He motioned for her to pull over, and they started talking.
That would get me to believe in Jesus too. So, you know what? If a fucking hot chick on my way home tonight flags me down, I'm going fucking all Christian.
But she was an oppressive Christian hottie, though. She immediately just made him a puppet and took over his whole world.
Fine.
They're married still. They're still married. They got 3. He's a doctor.
He's a doctor, and he fucks a hot chick he met.
They had 3 kids.
Christ is okay in my book.
It's okay. You know. But he was a big weed head, and so he asked a couple of us to stand up with him, and we agreed if we could sneak away and get really high that we would be in it. And we're so high, they changed the words of the ceremony to one of those really oppressive, and you will walk 2 steps behind him and stare at the ground and worship him. And worship him like a prophet.
Nice.
I'll never forget. Those words were actually in the vows.
The husband?
Yeah, the wife. The wife had to say. So me and my friend are so high, when they showed us the video like 3 years later, instead of just staring ahead and looking at the ceremony, you can see the 2 stoners just turn slowly and start facing each other. And my friend Miles like, what the fuck? When she says worship him like a prophet.
I like that. Excellent.
Beautiful.
But yeah, we're just in the church basement at Northside Baptist Church eating some watered down, you know, shitty, horrible, drinking high
It all makes sense now, though. I mean, why stop the beheadings, Jesus? You got to make sure this hot chick is in the right spot at the right time.
Yeah, this guy's got a case of down in the dumps. Let's get him laid forever.
Let's take care of this and not that.
Right. The world needs another chiropractor down the road somewhere.
I'm thinking about getting married.
Are you?
Yeah.
What type of wedding would you have?
Alternative.
I like it. I'll be there.
Cool. His eyes got really big on that one.
Yeah, he got very excited. He's visualized this before.
Yeah, no, I don't know about that.
You should get married.
I don't know about marriage, but it would be nice to just hang with somebody a little bit.
Colin got married once.
He did?
I think he did get married.
Yes, I was at the party.
Oh, there you go.
We were
at the party.
Well, it was an engagement party.
Was it?
That's where I bombed in front of, not even bombed because I wasn't going for a joke.
You got up there and tried to show him how to do it?
No, I met.
Sorry.
It's all good. I met Seinfeld and ran out of things to say after telling him how great that comedian documentary was.
Yeah, there was
right.
You've never seen a quicker
and he was
faucet turn off. Yeah.
He was polite to me. I was like, thank you. And then we were just staring at each other, and I realized, oh my God, I have nothing else to say to Seinfeld. And then
sitcom was also good.
Good show, Jer.
And he has no problem walking away from you in mid-sentence.
No, he'll just look at you. Seinfeld will just look at you until you're done.
That was a hell of an engagement party. It was his engagement party, right?
Vinny Pastore was there, big pussy.
Yeah, everyone just roasted Colin, just destroyed him.
That's really right. And Colin's, that was when Tough Crowd was on. He smashed all of us but Geraldo because he was fucking like, Geraldo's the only one who fucking prepared for this. He bashed me and fucking, I don't know if Patrice did it, but it was
Seinfeld even did some time.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Jerry roasted him too. We did like a Colin roast, and Colin just killed us all for not preparing enough.
Did you prepare?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I forget what I said. I remember one of my dumb jokes because Colin liked trannies. I said something about if he fucks one more tranny, we're going to have to change his name to Colin Queen.
Oh, I remember that joke.
Yeah, it was 2002. So.
Good time.
A long time ago.
Good time.
We're 3. Can't believe that's so many years ago.
Shout out to Louis C.K. Holy fuck.
Third Garden,
You
yes.
read this news today? He sold Madison Square Garden now for 2 nights. He's going to add a third.
Sweet.
Yeah, he's got the 2 of them are sold out very quickly too. So I don't know when the third one goes on sale, but I imagine it'll be very difficult to get tickets for. I'll be scalping them.
He's attempting to.
I called Louis. I'm like, can I have 400 tickets for the early show?
Exactly. I want to section 123. Just give me the entire section. I won't bother you anymore.
He's attempting to become the first comedian to sell out 3 nights at the Garden in the same month on the same tour.
All right.
And this is not an easy time to do it. This is January. The holidays just finished. You know, it's not like this is fucking go out and do a whole bunch of shit time. This is just an odd time to do it.
Right.
Yeah,
that is true.
Gone.
Yeah, now this is the dead time. Yeah, this is the dead time. That's for sure.
Yeah, we're all done buying shit right now. Yeah. Give us a break.
When is this coming up? Like now?
This month.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I think tickets are on sale now for the third show.
Dude, wonder he'll get somebody to open. You're gonna.
I'm guessing. Opie asked me that in the break. I'm thinking Todd Barry works for them a lot. I don't know who else tours with Louis, but I'm honestly not sure.
Todd Barry in Madison Square Garden. That's hilarious.
I think Todd. Todd's got a good pace for that.
I'd love to hear just what I'm saying. I just love to hear that voice.
Why?
Yes. Why? I would love to hear that voice echo through Madison Square Garden. That'd be fucking wonderful.
Mm-hmm. But he doesn't rush Todd as a performer, which is probably really smart for a building like the Garden because of the echo and stuff. Mm-hmm. So I think Todd would be perfect.
Yeah.
Well, we got that all solved.
I think gotta give him.
That's pretty good.
Give him his props.
Somewhere, William Stevenson around now is going fuck.
Oh, maybe William will open for you.
William's worked with him before.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I want to get Dr. Steve on the phone. There's a big controversy that squirting's bullshit, and Dr. Steve wrote a whole article or did a whole podcast on the thing. Can we get him? I told him we were going to call him either yesterday or today.
Wait, he's saying it's just piss, right?
I thought he was saying that it is something else.
Well, I've taken it in
now
the
I'm
mouth.
confused.
I really have.
Taken it in the mouth.
I've had my mouth squirted in before. There's a girl I used to go down on for many years, and she was like the most prolific squirter. And I'd be eating her pussy, and like I'll never forget. I told the story before. The squirt on the chin would be like, and I would feel it jetting out onto my chin, and it would turn me on so much. And it absolutely was not piss. I know the difference between the smell, and this is when I was in my early 20s, but it was definitely something else, and I knew, unless it's the same thing that becomes piss but is stored somewhere else in the body.
Right.
She was not pissing in my face.
Even though.
Oh, that would have also been a home run and well received.
Right.
But I mean, this was something different.
Maybe it is piss that goes through the filters or something.
It can be.
Maybe.
Some kind of female filter.
There's almost only so much fluid these pigs have.
With that, we say hi to Dr. Steve.
Good morning, boy.
Hello, Dr. Steve.
Hey, buddy. I told you to call about this pissing/squirting thing.
Yeah.
What happened? Someone else started this online?
No, what happened was Vice.com or one of these websites ran a story saying scientists say squirting is just pee. And it's a known fact that females ejaculate, and it's also a known fact that there's a thing called coital incontinence, where women lose control of their bladders and urinate, and they're two separate things. And so I looked at the study that they did, that this story was based on, and it was the most biased medical study I've ever seen. And what they did was they selected 7 women who have massive eruptions of fluid during intercourse. And of course, those women have what's called coital incontinence. They selected only for women that have urinary incontinence during sex. So then they concluded at the end of this, well, it's urine. Well, of course it was. But what they didn't say in the study, they did say in the study, but they don't say in the news reports, is that 5 out of the 7 women that they all said had the squirting was urine, also had prostatic-specific antigen in their fluid, which means that they ejaculated. So 5 of the 7 women actually ejaculate, because you can't have prostatic fluid in your urine. It had to come from the female prostate.
Okay, so why did they print that? Do you think they just thought it was more interesting to go, it's pee?
Yeah,
Okay.
And it's bad. Well, the study itself is bad science. It said a lot about coital incontinence. It didn't say anything about female ejaculation. And then, of course, the blogosphere picks it up and says, "Ha, women, you're just pissing yourselves." And, and then it took it from there. So we did a whole show on this and we're going to do it on, we're going to pick it up again Saturday night on Weird Medicine on this channel. And then our podcast from the 20th of January is pretty much dedicated to this story and just talking about the scientific method and how you test stuff, because this study suffered from what's called selection bias, in that they selected only for the outcome they were looking for.
Wow.
So there you go. So female ejaculation is separate from coital incontinence, and around 50% of women ejaculate, and anywhere from 10 to 50 or 40%, depending on the study, have coital incontinence.
Okay. Have you ever taken some squirt on your face, Dr. Steve?
Yeah, of course. Who hasn't?
Exactly. That's called Tuesday.
Yeah.
I love it.
All right. Well, thank you. That's interesting.
Some that I'm sure was urine, and some that I know for a fact was ejaculate.
The scent is different. You can just tell it doesn't smell like piss.
It's a cleaner scent,
and
Jimmy.
It's just fluid.
Just
right?
different. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can have one or the other or both, and So there you go.
Back in the day, we had Big A take some squirting on his face. Remember that, guys? And was she peeing that day? Because
probably not. We would have smelled it.
I don't know. It went a long way, though.
We had a bullseye on his face.
Yeah, I've seen people. Yeah, I've seen him put out candles.
Well, we put a bullseye in Big A's face.
Right.
Yeah, and this girl.
Big A.
Wow, who's this big star that has a camera crew with them?
Ooh. I don't know.
They're following somebody into Shade 45.
Lady.
We have Tom Arnold coming in about a half hour.
Yeah,
so
I love Tom.
Anything else, Dr. Steve?
No, that's why I'm glad I could be on with Vic Henley and talk about vaginal fluid.
I think that's a nice combination. You guys got good chemistry with this.
Yeah, there you go.
So,
well, I've got a meeting to get into, but thanks for letting me vent on that. That story pisses me off.
Literally.
Whoa, look at that.
Wow.
Nice.
Good night, everybody.
Nice
No
word
pun intended.
usage.
Thank you. Do you know Tom?
Thank you, Dr.
No,
Steve.
I don't know Tom.
Okay.
I heard he was great last time he was in.
Oh, I loved him, man.
I think that was the day I wasn't around.
Yeah, he was a fun guy to talk to.
I heard he was great.
Really interesting guy.
All right, why don't we take a quick break? We got Vic Henley in studio. Tom Arnold coming up in about 15, 20 minutes. And Vic, what are you promoting again? Atlantic City?
Atlantic City at Caesars this weekend with Ron White. Actually, all weekend. We're Caesars, Williamsport, Pennsylvania, and Wilmington, Delaware. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, tatersalad.com.
We can't separate you two.
Well,
you and Ron White.
These are the only ones I'm doing with him this month, I think. Maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe.
And Jimmy's got Tempe, Arizona.
Yeah, Super Bowl weekend, January 30th, 31st, Tempe Improv. And then February 13th, Foxwoods Casino, just one show.